First and foremost, it's really important to stress how job number one today and the last several days and moving forward in the near term is getting the freeway open. You'll hear a lot about that today. Today, we won't have any cost estimates to offer you. That will come at a later date. We also have no conclusions or ability to speculate on cause of the break itself today. We're posting new video from the site, including some of the new concrete work, some new footage for you at that YouTube playlist that we put out. You go to youtube.com/Tempe11 video. Under playlists, it's the first organized playlist. And then we've established tempe.gov/US-60, where we're also posting a number of assets for your use and for the public's viewing as well. So with that, let's go first to City Engineer Julian Driesing.
Thank you. I'd like to take the time to update you on our progress towards opening the US-60 freeway. It's been 5 days now since the water main break. Since then, we've been working around the clock on repairs and now have a much better understanding of all the needed repairs for the project. Eastbound US-60 pavement has the least amount of damage. The first segment of reinforced concrete has already been poured. The second and final segment of reinforced concrete is planned to be poured later tonight. To expedite the construction, special early strength concrete is being used. Once tests of the concrete demonstrate that it has hardened sufficiently, an asphalt surface will be installed on top. Shortly thereafter, the pavement can be striped and the roadway open to traffic. If all goes to plan, we anticipate eastbound US-60 to be open to traffic early next week. Westbound US-60 has the greatest amount of damage and will require pavement removal and replacement for the full width of the freeway. We don't have an estimate for opening westbound US-60 at this time, but we are working as quickly as possible to make that happen. Okay.
Good afternoon. My name is Rahal Amaviska. I'm the engineering administrator for the ADOT's Central District, and I just wanted to compliment the City of Tempe. They've been a great partner and the leader on this issue. And I'll be really willing to I'll be ready to answer questions, especially when I get my mouth working, and right after we allow those other speakers to have a statement. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you for being here. On behalf of the Tempe Police Department, we just wanted to give an update regarding some traffic issues that we're seeing due to this closure. Obviously, with McClintock, north and southbound being closed several times yesterday and again today, we've seen a significant backup in our neighborhoods. So our Traffic Bureau has implemented additional stop times at lights to alleviate some of that. So now that northbound and southbound is open on the overpass, that hopefully will free up some traffic there. And we ask people not to utilize neighborhoods and streets, side streets, to try to get through. When you head northbound or southbound, you're going to be allowed to make a right turn to access the US-60. So again, if you're traveling southbound, you're able to take a right turn, access US-60. If you're heading northbound, you can take a right turn and access the US-60 eastbound. So again, we're asking for people's patience. Our traffic motors will be out, again, first thing tomorrow morning, running those additional stop times at the lights to alleviate some traffic. And we'll continue to monitor and continue to work with the City of Tempe to make sure that traffic flow happens safely, especially during our rush hour in the morning and the evening hours.
Questions? Go ahead.
Are you all checking for breaks right now?
On the freeway itself, are you referencing?
No, where the break was along McClintock Drive.
I'll ask Tara Ford, the interim municipal utilities director, to come and talk about anything water line related.
Yeah, the water line itself, we've identified the break in the line. We put a camera down in the line, identified one area. That's the only one that is exposed at this time. Let's just say that it's broken. So there's one area of the.
Do you have to open up any other parts of McClintock Drive?
Not at this time. You mean to assess the water line? No, we've already done that. The sections that we need to, that's complete.
Was McClintock Drive shut down today? Did it have to do with the bridge and the cracking?
It would be traffic.
Yeah, so what we did is we did what we call a soft closure. And so we were seeing backup as far as baseline. And then north of the 60, we were seeing it backed up east all the way to Country Club Way. So in order to alleviate some of that traffic, we just did a soft closure, only allowing local business residents to get through there. And many people were trying to make that left-hand turn to access the freeway, significant backup. As you can imagine, when you have that significant backup, we were seeing lots of little small fender benders, collisions. And so we were trying to avoid that until we could access those lanes fully. I think working with the city engineering, our traffic bureau, allowing that right-hand turn to access the freeway is really going to alleviate that. So having that northbound, southbound now open, hopefully people will continue to use alternate routes. We encourage people to use the Loop 101, Price Frontage Road, Rural, Priest. We understand there's, some sort of inconvenience by utilizing these other roadways. But again, when we have those backups, it's causing backups into the neighborhood. We had neighborhoods that were gridlocked. Obviously, we still have our Tempe schools in. So we're trying to pull that traffic away and only allowing for local business and local residents through there. So hopefully now that it's open, that will hopefully solve part of the problem.
Yeah, so I can speak to that. So the first step is we need to do the repairs to the roadway. And so under the roadway on US-60 is a reinforced concrete portion, and then there's an asphalt layer that's on top of that. So there's two segments of that that are currently being repaired. The first one has already been poured of the reinforced concrete, with the second one being poured later on this evening. Then we have to make sure that that concrete hardens because we're going to have large traffic on there. Once that we know that that concrete has reached its needed strength, then the asphalt layer will be put on top, and then again striping, and we'll open it up. So we're hoping that's it, the process that'll go through, and if there aren't any other unexpected things that arise, we anticipate that early next week that we can open it up. Westbound, there's a lot more improvements that need to make place. So in this case, on eastbound, it's only in the HOV lane. For westbound, it's all the lanes, and so it's just a much larger amount of material that has to be removed and then replaced and installed. So that's the reason that it's going to take longer to demo, put back in new material, and open it up. But we are working as quickly as possible. It's also a difficult working location. It's right underneath the McClintock Bridge area, so we want to make sure that we're not damaging that existing infrastructure, making sure that it's safe for all the workers as well as safe for all the users of the roadway system, both on the freeway and on McClintock. So the reason that we can open 60 eastbound earlier is just there's significantly less damage to the roadway as westbound. I don't want to give anything out at this time. Just all I can say is that we're working as quickly as possible, and as we have that information, we will work with ADOT and Tempe staff to get that information out as quickly as possible. I'm going to have to defer to our water utilities group to speak about the water line.
Yes, thank you. That particular transmission line is 50 years old. Yes. There's no reason for us to believe that at this time, and once we excavate down to the break itself, because what we all have now is camera footage. So once we uncover it, we'll know more then, but at this time, there's no reason to think that.
Thank you. So we regularly do bridge inspections. Our bridge group does bridge inspections, and they had in the past noted some there, but I'm confident that our bridge group has reviewed it, and it actually has reviewed it yesterday, and will have an analysis of how it's how it'll work. At this point, there is no problem. I don't see. I have the utmost confidence in our bridge group to tell us whether it's safe or not. And from what I see personally, it's on the outside. So that's the extent of my knowledge is it appears to be external, but I would say that our bridge group will provide the best analysis for that.
So it is safe.
Yes, it wouldn't, yes, to my knowledge, it would be. And I'd be happy to actually to go into it a little further if you'd like after the press conference.
And then crack does appear to be fresh. So that
So, so our bridge group has looked at it, and they'll provide a really an evaluation here shortly. I don't see that it was. They actually went on site and reviewed it, as opposed to just looking at pictures. So they were up close.
My knowledge that, to my knowledge, the manufacturer name is not something we know at this point in time. That'll, you have been. I don't have a time frame for when we'll know the manufacturer. It's a 50-year-old pipe. So as soon as we know, we'll let you know.
Yeah, those businesses were back in full water use yesterday from City of Tempe. Yes. At this time, you know, like I said previously, we never anticipate, couldn't have anticipated this happening with the material this pipe is made out of. It's steel cylinder. Life expectancy is well over 75 years. So at this time, no, but we are still continuing on with our water line and transmission line assessment programs that we are doing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, anything, like there's always new technology out there and new types of pipe and ways that you can lay them or sleeves you can put on and Tempe's always innovative in looking at those, looking at new ways to improve on infrastructure to prevent anything like this from happening.
To the freeway itself?
I mean, I was thinking of since that line has gone under there, else or is there?
Yeah, I don't think that we anticipate, based on the break and the location, that there would be sinkholes. We will, we'll continue to monitor the area, but that isn't a current concern too much. On the freeway itself, we know that during large storm events, large amounts of water collect on the freeway system, and we've seen that before. So it's not unusual because of our monsoon season and such to have large amounts of water on our roadway system and on the freeway system. So at this point, we don't anticipate that there's that risk.
I just wanted to add that we are working with the city of Tempe on doing core sampling in a couple of different areas on the freeway. And so we're haven't found anything that gives us an idea that there's a problem. For the most part, all the other projects are going forward as planned. There was one minor modification on a closure for the Broadway Curve project, just to avoid conflicts with the closure of US-60.
And what was that? What was those minor?
So the projects that they had, we just didn't want to put more traffic diving into a freeway that was closed. It just doesn't work out that way. So that other closure was not put in place. So it was planned, it was like a two-part closure, eastbound, westbound. And the closure that would have conflicted was halted.
All right. Good. Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time.